What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Leave It to the Judges MMA show. We got a bit of a different video for you guys today. We're not going to be talking about the news. We're going to be making fantasy UFC matchups. Basically, any fight you want to make, current or present, we're going to make them. Let's get in the war room, boys. Who wants to start?
Important caveat, like we're talking about fighters like in their prime as opposed to just like the current version of them type shit, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You can kick us off. You can kick us off, Ed. What's up?
All right, I'll get us started. You did just mention a name, Xavier, Rumble Johnson. I got Prime Rumble Johnson versus Alex Pereira at light heavyweight. I think this would be an absolutely insane fight, dude. Pereira versus Rumble.
Did Rumble mainly was on the feet, correct?
I mean, he had wrestling though.
Okay, I don't remember.
But he was definitely a knockout artist.
Yes, yeah. But I would say like in this fight type shit, like I think that he could out wrestle Pereira type shit. So that makes it a little interesting. Okay. I think that on the feet, like Pereira might be a tad too crispy for him. Might spark his ass. But like Rumble was putting shit down back in the day, like you know what I mean? And for two rounds, like he was dangerous as fuck. And I don't think that we saw him get grinded out twice by DC, but like outside of getting grinded out, like no one was really like super grinding him out back then, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
As long as it was like on the feet type shit, he had decent cardio at least. So his power carries. So that would be a real interesting one.
That'd be interesting.
I like that one.
What do you think about that fight, Clark?
I do like it. It's an interesting one, I would say. I feel like Rumble would struggle in the kicking game in that fight. He is very good at kicking. Two-time world kickboxer. I just feel like on the feet he is better than most in the striking game against anyone. Like I would say he's at the same level as Izzy when it comes.
Yeah, that's fair.
You don't think so?
No, okay, I'll give him that. Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe Izzy has a slight edge.
I think Izzy has more techniques, but I think in terms of like efficiency, I will put him up there.
Okay, yeah.
And he's been doing MMA way longer too.
Yeah. So Rumble could definitely take him to the ground, but I will say Pereira looks better on his takedown defense. He stopped Jan. I mean, Jan's old, but still stopped him. Still a big man. So,
and to be fair, I don't remember like Rumble submitting motherfuckers really. So
yeah,
no.
Even if it went down, I think that a round later it'll be back on the feet type shit. So
yeah, it might be a gas tank problem for Pay in that fight. He might have to dig deep, but
Rumble kind of gassed too back in the day. So you can't even act like
well,
they will be both gassed as hell throwing bombs and someone's going to sleep.
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup, but I would, if I were to take one of them, I'd take Pereira.
Okay. Yeah, at the end of everyone's matchup, we'll each pick a winner. So you guys got Pereira. I think I'd favor Rumble. I don't know, but all right, let's move on to the next one. Who wants to step up next?
I'll take this one. We almost got this matchup. Well, really two versions of it. I would say either Brock Lesnar, John Jones, number one, or Brock Lesnar, DC as a consolation. The thing is, like, was Brock the most like well-rounded champion? No, but was he one of the most physically imposing like figures that the cage has ever seen? Yes. Like, is he one of the best athletes on the planet? Yes. And so I would definitely love to see him fight against the smaller Jones, just because, like, John Jones has the wrestling, especially like back in the day when this fight was being talked about. John Jones was still a light heavyweight. He wasn't like settled into his more bulky frame, which I feel like would help him tremendously against Brock Lesnar. Even though I think Skinny John will whoop Lesnar's ass too, honestly. But I just the matchup, like big Brock Lesnar going for wrestling takedowns. You know what I mean? Brock Lesnar never liked to get hit. John Jones is going to be hitting him, but probably not with the power that like other heavyweights were hitting him with, you know? So how I wonder just like how he would deal with getting hit by John's like, more, lighter strikes, but like more of an accumulation thing. The cardio, like Brock early versus Brock late. I know John Jones will have a fat cardio advantage there. Could Brock Lesnar maybe like lay on top of John and hold him down? Like, I don't think so, but I would love to see it. Like, I would love to see a skinny John Jones, like, you know what I mean? Just like showing that size doesn't matter in that bitch against Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, that fight, I remember it was around UFC 200 when Brock came back, and like once again, we're doing prime Brock Lesnar because obviously, dude, that Brock Lesnar that beat Mark Hunt. First of all, he was juiced to the gills, and I remember like they were doing like the DC Lesnar promos already, bro. Both DC and John would have murked that Brock. Prime Brock though, I would still take both of them over Brock, but I totally get why you want to see this fight. This would be an absolute spectacle. It'd be so fun to watch, and I think it would be more competitive than like most people think. What do you guys think? Technically, besides his physical attributes, was Brock's strongest attribute in the cage, besides his like strength?
His wrestling. I feel like he's a what, state champion wrestler type shit. Like,
yeah,
Brock was legitimate. Like, he can wrestle his ass off type shit, and like he was mauling people with ease. Like, granted, like, was the well-roundedness of MMA skill sets back then perfect? No. Are the heavyweights a traditionally like easy to take down weight class? Like, they don't have the best wrestling traditionally, just as a weight class type shit. Like, even I would say now, like, he could come in and probably ground and pound a lot of these fighters too. Honestly, like if you put him against like a Rosenstruck or like a Derek Lewis type, like he could take them down and hold them there. He's a big motherfucker. Like, he's actually like how Derek Lewis has like a size advantage on most heavyweights, and that kind of like lets him just get up and shit like that. Like, you can't say that about Brock. Like, he's not bigger than Brock. Brock is a big fuck. Like, Brock, I think, weighs like 315 and is like, out of the cage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, dude's massive.
Like, he's just a massive guy. The thing about Brock too, he would shoot takedowns and secure them. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not a lot of like, oh, I'm just gonna pop back up like against Brock. You know what I mean? Like, once he secured the takedown, like, you were down there and he was ground and pounding you. You know what I mean? So, like, it would be, I think, like, if anyone can do it, like a DC or a John level wrestler could get the fuck back up. I'm pretty sure of it, but it would still be like interesting to see.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, his striking was definitely, he had power in his hands, but that was never his forte, more so because like he very much like, I don't think anyone likes to get hit in the face, but Brock like really didn't like getting hit in the face. Like, every time, like, he will react very poorly to it type shit. And that was like one of his like pitfalls, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. What do you think about the fight, Nick?
I like it, even though I feel like one individual will run over the other one.
Yes.
I think stylistically it's not the best for Brock, but
No.
I would enjoy watching it. I would enjoy watching his big body just run towards John. I do have a bad feeling if that fight were to happen that like Jones would kind of catch him right away and he wouldn't react well. And John's a very creative finisher.
I would say this though, like, even at like light heavyweight, John wasn't like finishing people primarily off of like single strike, like rocking them type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
no.
you think that like, I think that like it would be more like how I play it out in my mind is more like John whooping his ass for like at least like probably getting a finish like fourth round, maybe like late third. But I think it's gonna be a way more of like an accumulation because Brock's big ass can take a lot of those shots like that John will be putting on his ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Brock would just get tired by the third round, shooting endless takedowns on like DC or John, and just in the meantime, he'd be getting pieced on the feet. And it would just, yeah, like you said, it would just be too much for him.
He'd probably get submitted by John or like just ground and pound by or finish on the feet by DC.
Yeah.
I feel like because DC, I don't see him even being able to get a takedown ever type shit. Or like maybe one, but like I don't see him being able to ever like take DC down and control him down there, you know?
No.
Really, I don't see it about John either, but I do see him being able to just like maybe just early on, like pick him the fuck up type shit. Grab one leg and just like hoist his eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can see it. But yeah, that's my first one.
Clark, let's hear your first one.
What you got? What you got, man?
It's one we've talked about for a while in the past. Featherweight, Conor McGregor versus Volkanovski.
That was gonna be my second one if you didn't take it.
Yeah, it's just such a good fight, no matter how you look at it. I will give my opinion on the fight immediately. I think Conor McGregor wins that fight, and I will say why. Max Holloway, who is a volume guy, I was gonna base it off the knockout that just happened, but it is at lightweight, so power is in for sure. But Max Holloway, who is a volume guy, he has decent power, but definitely more volume. Knocked Volk down very early in the fight twice. And I feel like against a guy like Conor, and Volk's like definitely hittable. I don't think he's like the most elusive kind of fighter. So I feel like Conor could hit that chin and just easily knock him out. I mean, Islam can do it the way he did. Conor can, so I like the fight though. It could also really go back and forth. I think Conor would survive 5 rounds. To be honest,
I think that
it favors Volk if it goes 5, but
I would say when you really think about it, the bulk of Conor McGregor's gas tank issues have happened at welterweight, which is like comparatively carrying a lot more weight. If you look at the Chad Mendes fight, Conor was like ground and pounded and controlled on the ground for like several rounds of that fight and popped back up, and his cardio seemed just fucking fine. So, and that was like with him taking, beatings on the ground and like getting control for like, basically like three minutes out the round type shit. What you would think of now, when you look at his whole career as like being his kryptonite, if you can get him down, tire him out, he'll, you know what I'm saying? But at featherweight, I feel like his cardio wasn't as bad, just carrying less weight. Probably had to be in a lot better of shape just to even make featherweight anyway, right? So I don't think that the cardio would factor in as much as like when you look at Conor McGregor. When I think of him, I think like, okay, most dangerous in rounds 1 and 2. If it goes past 3, it gets a little dicey, But I feel like for this fight, also like you have to think about like the aura of invincibility that featherweight Conor had. He was just sparking motherfuckers. Like people forget, like, cause like how dominant Jose Aldo was looked at before he got slumped by Conor. Like the man was a world beater. He was fucking everybody up down there.
Champ for 10
years. 4 years. And he was
the only champ, right?
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah. Since WEC, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't even say like he was old or like, super past his prime when Conor did that. Because he wasn't. He was exactly. And Conor just sparked his ass. I just think that I feel like we would see I could see a path for Volk to win easy. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could make an argument that he would win, but I kind of tend to agree with you. I kind of like favor maybe within the first like 2-3 rounds, Conor sparking him, and maybe like if it goes past that, maybe Volk, taking over down the stretch. But he might even be just like down on strikes early, to be honest with you.
Who would you guys take right now at lightweight, Volk or Conor?
Volk.
Okay. What do you think, Clark?
I feel like it's hard just because like Connor hasn't fought in forever.
It's also like it's just a size thing for me. 5'9" to 5'6". He's gonna have a way longer reach now.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is a tough one to call, man, because I do feel weird just kind of saying, oh, Connor would knock him out. Because like Volk's been so dominant at featherweight, and Connor really never had that title run that Volk has had. But I get what you guys are saying stylistically.
I
For
just
sure.
think that gas tank wise, it's a bad matchup for him. Like at these higher weights, especially. Just because we know Volk will push a hard fucking 5, damn near the hardest 5 of anybody.
Yeah.
You could argue, especially after seeing what he did, like how he had Makachev huffing and puffing in round 5 of their fight, to the point where he was able to drop him, get on top of him and stay there because Makachev was so tired. I have no doubt in my mind that like if you take him like round even 2, Makachev, he's getting the fuck up. Like if you take him down, if Volk is on top of him, like no matter what, if he wants to get up, he's gonna get up. And Volk was literally like on top of him, and Islam was just accepting it. That's just like a pure product of fatigue to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just think that like if Connor can't catch him early, like what I've seen recently off Connor, like I don't think he would have the gas tank to go a hard 5 at Volk's pace.
Okay. All right, but I think I agree with. I just feel weird saying Connor, but I guess I'll agree with you guys. I think Connor would take it at featherweight.
Did y'all not just see me freeze?
You
No,
were gone for a second.
You left for a second.
Okay. I don't know why, man. My internet sometimes crazy.
You're good.
All
All right.
Well, whose fight is it now?
All right, we're circling back to me. Let's each do one more.
Yeah,
because I think we should make this will be a series. I've talked about this one with you guys in person. Prime Yoel Romero versus Hamzat at middleweight.
Ooh.
I think that fight is crazy. I absolutely have Yoel Romero.
Now of what I just saw, I might take Yoel Romero in that fight.
Yeah.
Because I don't. Maybe Hamza could choke him out early, but I feel like Yoel is tough enough to like last on the ground, and like once he gets further on in the fight, I feel like he'll just take over in that. To be honest,
because Yoel doesn't really gas.
But the thing is,
wait, can I take a specific like Yoel type shit? Can I take like Yoel versus Costa? Like
Yoel versus Weidman. That's the Yoel. Going into the title, Yoel.
Because I will say his my bad, Clark. Go ahead.
No, you go. I was just saying, same with Costa. It's the same guy.
Yeah, I would say like for me personally, I just think that Yoel, especially maybe it was a product of age, but there's definitely some fights where he would not throw enough volume.
Yeah.
And if you like see the Izzy fight, see like a lot of his later fights, really. I feel like he got to the point where he was like having all these spectacular finishes, like flying knees or like, elbows or just like quick twitch, like explosive finishes. And I think for a while he kind of fell in love with those as opposed to just like he was just in a straight barn burner against Costa. And personally, I think watching it at the time, I kind of thought like he might have won that bitch. You know what I mean? Or like, what was the fight that he like missed weight for a title fight? Who was that against?
Rockhold.
Yeah, like against Rockhold, like he was whooping Rockhold's ass. I feel like.
Oh my god, I remember that fight, dude.
Like, he was whooping his ass, like
that was bad.
And I feel like he was an Olympic level wrestler. Hamzat was not gonna be able to take him down and just like have his way down there. He was strong as a fucking ox.
Yeah.
Explosive, and from what I've seen recently off Hamzat, he had better cardio.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that would be a great matchup. I might fuck around and favor Yoel, bro, because he was a fucking freak of nature back then.
That's what I mean, bro.
Yeah.
I feel like if I didn't see the last fight, I would probably take Hamzat, to be honest.
I don't hate that take. But yeah,
No.
like kind of to counter your point, X, I feel like to be able to see that Yoel that we saw against Costa, you gotta be pressing Yoel to get that, because like Yoel will sit there all day, like you said, like he did against Izzy, and just wait to whop you with one shot. Like he doesn't care.
I do think that like Hamzat, from what I've seen from him though, is he brings the fucking fight.
Yeah,
He brings the fucking fight. So either way, I think that would be a barn burner.
that'd be a fire ass
He,
fight.
he,
But
he wouldn't let Yoel just like stare at him type shit all day.
at the end of the day, I'm taking Yoel.
I'm taking Yoel, honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Yoel tentatively, just
Okay.
because
I would just lean slightly towards him.
I would say like if they were gonna fight, like you know what I mean, like on paper type shit, like I would feel more comfortable backing Hamzat on the like activity factor, like just because I know Hamzat's gonna throw, and I don't really know. Like the problem with betting on Yoel is you don't know if he's gonna be fighting for real. But if it's like in a fantasy matchup, I can pick the version of Yoel I'm talking about. Then like,
Yeah.
I think I would favor Yoel.
Okay.
Like Yoel on his best day type shit.
For sure. All right, Xavier, give us your second fight.
Let me think, man. Let me think.
The time portal.
Oh, I have a. I like my last one.
Is yours gonna have Oliveira in it, Clark?
Oh, hell yeah.
Mine's gonna be a little greasy, you know what I'm saying? A gym war, if you will, but I'm gonna go fucking Islam Makhachev prime, Khabib prime, baby.
Oh,
Let's see it. Let's see what's going on at AKA behind closed doors, damn it.
I didn't even think of that one because yeah, they're teammates. I didn't even think of that.
Think about it, like I would say, like I would imagine even still, like Khabib has the wrestling advantage, you know. But I would say it's probably so slight. Like it's probably like the smallest wrestling advantage he's ever had against anyone else.
Oh, for sure. And
These two have been
a better striker.
They've been wrestling since they were kids, so like no chance like Islam can't like hold his own in those bitches. And everyone who's like seen it says that like yeah, it was like back and forth type shit in the gym. Maybe Khabib, they were saying like I feel like the general consensus is like Khabib probably got like a little bit the better of things, but like you know, and especially in terms of the grappling, especially. But
Yeah.
in a full MMA fight, dude, from what I've seen off Makhachev, he is clearly and by far, in a way, the better striker. So if you have like a better striker and someone who can like hold his own in the wrestling, like I don't know, man. That sounds like a fucking fight I would be dying to see personally.
Damn. So we're taking current day Islam versus Khabib's title run. I think that's when he was in his prime. Who do you guys think has had a more impressive like streak of fights so far, Islam or Khabib's title run?
It's definitely Islam, but
I
like
think so.
I feel like the division's better now, so kind of.
Has to.
No, Khabib just retired too early.
Oh yeah, and he retired early, but
I feel like it's evolution of the sport type shit. Like the one thing I can say, like for you know, we all thought Tony Ferguson was the prince that was promised type shit in terms of like he was the one guy that people were looking at as like could be offensive off his back, and like I would say clearly Charles is way more of like what we thought Tony Ferguson was, you know. In terms of a submission threat off of his back, can't deny that. And Islam dealt with him handily. So I don't know, man. I would have to give it to Islam. I would say fighting a decently prime Conor is a big feather in Khabib's cap, just because we saw what even coming off the Floyd fight, what Conor did in that fight, and it was kind of like pretty impressive. That was still like a decently prime Conor, I would say. So that's a fat feather in his cap, but winning the title against Ala Quinta, not the biggest, you know what I'm saying? That's not super impressive. I feel like Islam would beat Gaethje, especially at that point. Gaethje was not even as good as he is now. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I don't know.
How do we see this fight playing out, though?
Mm.
That's like, this would be a very interesting fight. Would it mostly be on the feet, or would this be like a straight up just shooting back and forth for takedowns?
Yeah, I think it's all over the place, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
I
good
will
point.
say this. It's kind of weird for me to think about this fight because, like, basically Khabib's his coach. So, like, it's kind of weird because I feel like from that respect, Khabib knows taught him everything. So it's like he'll have the edge all day in the wrestling.
Obi-Wan, bro.
I mean, he
Same.
didn't teach him everything though. I would say if you think about it, because really Abubakar was both of their coach when they were like young. You know what I mean? I would say Khabib probably. What I think Khabib's a little older type shit. You know what I mean? He kind of was like a more of like a big bro. And now, like, you know, it's easy for Habib to slide into the role of coach, taking over for his pops. But like, really, they like taught, they like learned together essentially. You know what I mean?
No,
So
that's true. I mean, I will say in this fight, I would be excited to see this fight, and I don't know who would win, but I would favor Khabib because
I'm
the
gonna take, I'm taking Islam. I'm taking Islam.
I
man,
think Khabib might be able to submit Islam.
yeah, the man's 29-0. It's just like, see, that's like John Jones type shit right there. Like, you can't bet against him.
But the one fight Islam like lost, it was because he just got clipped really quick.
That's true.
Like his first fight. So like,
Who do you get clipped against? Do I have to look him up?
So Islam versus Khabib. Let's put in our final predictions how the fight would play out. This is kind of a tough one, man. Who do you guys got?
me personally, maybe it's just like what I want to happen, I guess. But I'm gonna take Islam here. I just feel like he's more well-rounded than Habib was in terms of like his striking, and I feel like if we saw that like Alaquinta didn't get submitted by Habib in 5 rounds, I don't think there's a chance that Islam gets submitted by Habib. So especially like the familiarity is so there, you know what I mean? So like Islam knows, like I'm sure Habib is probably in their lifespan choked him out like 1,000 times. But I feel like right now, like prime Islam, he ain't getting submitted by Habib. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Clark.
I think Khabib wins the fight. I'll go with decision on that. I think he just kind of out wrestles him. Honestly, I think that's what it will come down to in the fight. Because I mean, I don't see Islam knocking him out on the feet. I really don't. I feel like it'll be a very grimy fight where it could be back and forth with takedowns and transitions, but I feel like the more dangerous fighter on the ground is Khabib, and I think he'll win it through that.
Yeah, I think I'm also gonna pick Khabib by like fourth, fifth round submission.
Also, it's just like the man's 29-0. I just can't go against that. I really can't. I can't.
All right, Clark. Let's move on to the last. Oh no, go ahead, X.
I just would say, like, just to counter that though, like what the one thing that we always say about Habib is like he never fought a dominant wrestler. Like not once type shit. Not even like a Michael Chandler in his prime type shit. Like no one even like, and I think that Islam is still leagues above all of those people. In the grappling and wrestling specifically department. And then the fact that like they've been wrestling with each other since they were literally like maybe not even teenagers type shit, maybe like grade school kids type, you know what I mean? So I just think that like a lifetime of gym wars with Habib will have prepared him for Habib, at least to the point where Habib would not be able to just like wrestle fuck him for like 5 rounds type shit, like or 4 or none of that. And I do think on the feet, the current version of Islam has like significantly better striking than I ever saw off Habib. So
I'd agree with that.
Okay.
I just feel
I just don't see a late sub. I feel like if anything, it might be like if Habib were to win, I feel like it would be like a decision, like a close decision type shit, or maybe he got a little more of a top position type shit. But like it was like a back and forth, fight. I don't see like Habib gets a takedown, holds Islam down for like 4 minutes type shit, beats on him like the way he dominated most of his career. You know what I mean? I just don't see him doing that to Islam for like 5 rounds.
I agree. I think it was a decision no matter what. To be honest.
All right, no, Clark. Why don't you end us off with your last fight?
Well, I was gonna do Oliveira versus Khabib. Like, just thinking like more Oliveira at the time when he kind of first won the belt to now. I still think this Oliveira is the same, but I'm just saying like the hype at that time, because everyone was saying he could take Khabib, including me. I don't think he would beat him now after the Islam fight, but I don't want to copy the Khabib, so I'm gonna pick GSP versus Kamaru Usman.
Okay, the welterweight goats.
Yeah, both in their prime.
What about Tyron Woodley, bro?
Nah.
We said Khabib Usman.
No. GSP Usman.
Oh, GSP. Ooh, that's a great fucking
No,
fight.
I definitely have GSP respectively. It's a great fight, though. It is.
I feel like this will be the most back and forth like fight ever. Like I could just see them matching. They match up very well. They're both probably the best wrestlers in that division's history, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Great down defense both ways. I would say on the feet, it's close. I mean, I don't think there's a big gap between either one. I don't remember if GSP kicked a lot, which might give me an edge in that. The power, probably about the same, I'd say. I think it's a very even fight. I think it would be a war. I think whoever could probably get whoever could get the takedown will probably win the fight, I would say. Because I feel like it will probably come down to the striking. Because I think wrestling will cancel out. I would slightly take GSP, but I could easily see Usman winning that fight.
I'm gonna have to disagree with. I think GSP striking is in like a whole nother tier than Usman's, respectively. Like we saw old ass GSP. I know Bisping, he was like a really overrated champion, but he did drop Bisping, and Bisping's a really good striker in my opinion, much better than Usman ever was. I would take GSP pretty decisively in this fight, to be honest.
I will tell you this though. I will tell you this. Like from what I remember about that fight, like when he got the rear naked choke, like his face was kind of bloodied the fuck up too, though. Like GSP's, I'm saying, like GSP was kind of bloody, no? Like
yeah, but I'm saying I don't think Usman could replicate what Bisping did on the feet.
But what I'm saying is, like, we just saw what Usman did against Hamza, and I think that Hamza fucks any version of Michael Bisping up, to be honest with you, respectfully.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I'll agree.
Bisping got knocked out by old-ass, stiff-ass Dan Henderson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that was
Henderson has, like, no, like, mobility in his shit. Like, you know
he's so stiff.
He's stiff as fuck. He's stiff as a board, and he put Bisping stiff as a board. And so, like, I don't know, man. After seeing what, like, this version of Kamaru did against Hamza, like, a prime Usman, like, when he was, like, going in there relentlessly shooting these takedowns, infinite cardio, like, just grinding people the fuck out. And then we take, like, the evolution, like, you know, when he got better with his hands type shit, like prime Usman, like, it was a little sliver. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, it was a little sliver type shit. Like, I would say, like, when his striking and his wrestling was still there and his striking met that, I feel like it wasn't long type shit. It was like grindy Usman, and then like this little prime Usman, and now it's like more strike heavy Usman because them knees hurting. But I think that if we take like that little sliver type shit, like, I might take Usman in that fight. just because I saw that like GSP has gotten knocked out twice, like with hands
Yes,
by like Matt Serra.
that was pretty bad.
And for while I'm not discrediting Matt Serra, like the game was so much less evolved back then. Like technical wise. Granted, everyone has a puncher's chance, and anyone can get caught, but like I've still never seen Usman get put away by a punch. A head kick is like a whole different like level of like it's damn near a baseball bat. Like
Yeah, it's way more
get-
powerful.
right? Anyone can get put down. Like the same thing. Like Volk never got put down off. Like he never got knocked out off a punch, but a head kick. We see what that does to anybody. DC, like you saw what a John Jones head kick does to everybody. You know what I mean? Like a head kick is a different kind of beast to eat. So I just think that like chin for chin, like Usman might be there, and I think that if Matt Serra can knock GSP out, I think for sure Usman can.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I feel like I think it's very evenly matched, and the only edge I would get to GSP is I feel like he's a little more cleaner in the striking.
Yeah, definitely. He
And
has a striking advantage, but I don't know.
that's
Like
it.
I would say he probably has the grappling advantage in terms of like jujitsu per se.
I don't
But
know.
I don't think that like it would matter very much.
Yeah, I think
Against Usman. I think Usman might be able to take him down. And I feel like even more so than he would even want. I feel like in that fight, if they were to fight, GSP would look at that fight and be like, my path to victory is striking more so. And I will grapple when I have to. And I think that Usman will look at that fight and be like, I'm a little outmatched in the striking, so let me try to wrestle. You know what I mean? It might end up playing out on the feet anyway, but I think that initially, because like Usman like used to like have that mentality, man. Like I'm gonna be shooting these takedowns, bro. I don't give a fuck. Like I'm ragdolling you, and like I know your will is gonna break before mine does. So I feel like I'm gonna go, unpopular opinion. I'm gonna take Usman in that, but I think it's pretty close, and I could easily see George winning.
Okay.
No disrespect to either person, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would honestly flip a coin for this fight. I would slightly take GSP, but if I were to bet on one, I would flip a coin straight up.
Because I will say this, like, who did GSP beat that like is comparable to like a Kobe Covington type shit
Yeah, maybe
in his
not.
prime? In his prime,
I'm trying to think of the resume, honest.
It's been a minute. Let me think of his resume. Let me pull up his resume.
pull up his resume real quick.
This was before our time, guys. We're sorry.
It was a little. I mean, I don't think they were better than Covington, probably.
Let me pull this.
I would bet my house that Kobe Covington will whoop Matt Serra's ass.
Hey man, I'm taking prime Johnny Hendricks over Colby Covington in a fight.
Ooh,
You talking about EPO Johnny though? Like when he was like juicing,
Like when he fought GSP.
when he was juicing, baby. He was
Yeah, I'm taking him over Colby. He's knocking his ass out bad, bro.
I'm not gonna lie, Johnny Hendricks had like the biggest fall from grace once USADA came in that bitch. Like he was never the same again.
Yeah, those fucking steroids.
He started wearing his glasses to the weigh-ins, and he was just never. He didn't even look like he wanted to be there without without the roids, man.
Dude, Colby's not taking Johnny Hendricks down, bro. And one hit from Hendricks, it's over. On the EPO, on the steroids.
Yeah,
No.
there you go. That'd be the one.
EPO.
I'm just gonna read down some of the names
Yeah.
of. So we got Bisping, Hendricks, Nick Diaz, Carlos Condit, Jake Shield, Koscheck, Hardy, Thiago Alves, BJ Penn, John Fitch,
Ooh,
Matt
BJ
Serra, Matt Hughes, Koscheck, and those are all the fights
I would say
after the loss
Yeah,
to Matt Serra.
BJ Penn. I'd say
Wasn't BJ Penn like undersized against him?
Oh yeah, no, BJ Penn was a lightweight. He was a lightweight, not a welterweight.
So like,
I would think of him out of the names I just heard, or Carlos.
Nick Diaz, I guess. But like,
I would think Carlos Condit.
And Matt Hughes.
But I'm saying like it's no fault of GSPs that like the sport just evolves. You know what I'm saying? Like the sport just evolves. But I feel like I could see like Kobe Covington like fucking most of those people up.
No,
I don't know if I agree. I don't know.
most of them.
Most of them.
Yeah,
Most
most of them.
I don't know. I think I'm still gonna lean GSP. I think he's
A
just better.
prime
literally everywhere.
Tyrone Woodley goes down there and does work. I agree. I think as well. Not like I don't think he beats everybody, but I think he goes down there and
I think
makes it
yeah,
tough.
definitely could
Because
does
like don't think of like the Tyrone Woodley that got slept by Jake Paul, you know what I'm saying? And Russell fucked by Usman, but
Woodley also had a pretty hard fall from grace.
yeah, but he also had himself a run. And if you think about like who he was when Usman took his soul, like he was really that guy, you know what I mean? He was
probably
like fucking
number
people
3.
up.
He's probably like number 3 welterweight of all time.
That's what I'm saying. Like
But
He was coming off that really nice win on Darren Till.
yeah, bro, he beat Darren Till. He beat Wonder Boy once, but probably twice.
Knocked out Lawler.
Yeah, I mean, just so many good performance, and then they get slept by Jake Paul. How does that happen?
it's
Yeah,
the
I
game
don't
we
even
play,
know.
man. And Father Time undefeated, man. We're seeing it with Bron
disgusting.
tonight. We're seeing it with Bron tonight, man. He's gonna look old as fucking there. Played
The
like
thing
20
is,
minutes.
like Woodley just retired. It wasn't like it was like 2 or 3 years out. Like it was literally a few months, I want to say.
Yeah, but Woodley was washed like forever before he retired. Respectfully.
Yeah, respectfully.
It's probably true. Unfortunately.
But all right, I'm gonna take GSP. X takes Usman. Who you taking, Clark? You're the tiebreaker.
I would take GSP, but on the day of, I would flip a coin probably.
Okay.
Especially if I can get like some Usman at plus like 150 odds. Ooh.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I'm jumping at that. I'm jumping at that, man.
Flip a coin on that, to be honest.
Okay. All right, though. Like I said, we're gonna make this a series, so we're definitely gonna come up with more fun fights to talk about for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Check out the TikTok and the shorts. Catch y'all.
Peace.
Peace.